Hi, this is Tamara from Fashion Roundtable. I'm here with Catherine West, who was actually my MP, the MP for Hornsey and Wood Green, and is also the co-chair of the All-Party Parliamentary Group for Ethics and Sustainability in Fashion, along with a lot of other work. Catherine, I first want to ask you about why you think the work that we do, the work engaging the fashion industry and policy is so important, and what you think it might have been like in the past.
Well, this policy area has come right up the political agenda. At the end of the last Parliament, Mary Creagh, who was the outgoing chair of the Environmental Audit Committee, raised it, and it was very well received, the report into the sustainability questions around fashion, both the fabrics and the recycling question. But obviously, there's also a very significant piece of work on people who work in fashion. And I've been delighted to work closely with Lola, Baroness Young of Hornsey, on the question of human trafficking and how we can look again at our supply chains and praise the companies where they do it right, because there are quite a lot of companies trying harder with the reporting, trying harder with their own supply chains, trying to pay people at the moment in the COVID crisis. Workers need to be paid for the work that they've done. And these issues are very big, so it's quite hard in a small party group to get it all off the ground, but we have to start somewhere. And I feel really this year we've really made a lot of progress in terms of holding our own government to account, challenging industry, and looking at some of the challenges around Brexit.
Brexit. Obviously the votes, the decision making with the EU is happening, we hear this week. Again, this is another deadline. I know you were a keen Remainer, and you have consistently been on the side of Remain, as is the constituency and as is actually the fashion industry in its majority. What are your thoughts that the sector needs to be aware of with this?
I mean, I'm extremely worried about Brexit. All the time that's been put into talking about fishing, which is a £1 billion industry here in the UK, when we know that fashion is worth 35 billion. I'm very worried about the training and our colleges who teach fashion. I'm very worried about students who wish to come to London, which is a hub for fashion, to learn. We're very worried about teachers who teach in the area or who bring on their mentees to teach them about fashion. The shows that we have, how that's all going to work with the freedom of movement, but also with artists who need to be able to have that passport around the European Union. And of course, then I'm worried about the actual retail side as well. We know that today 13,000 job losses have been announced because of Arcadia. We are in a complete crisis in terms of retail. So if you add it up as a package around COVID, climate, and Brexit, the UK is in a very, very vulnerable position. It really couldn't be worse.
No,
so
I mean,
that's why
we always
so
said that. I mean, we thought that with Brexit, and then along came the pandemic. So
that's why it is so important that we get a deal with the EU, and it's so important that we focus in Parliament on how can we make the lives of our constituents better and easier. We can't waste time on ideological debates. We need to have the processes as smooth as possible. We need to have a good relationship with our EU partners, and we need to keep all of our businesses afloat and our important education sector, which teaches so many important elements of sustainable fashion. And finally, even our waste and recycling questions, they are very dictated by our relationship with Europe. And we are once again going to struggle to have a homegrown industry which promotes the environment and which finances itself. So we are in a really, really tough situation right now. And it's so good to have, all party colleagues coming together, discussing these issues and learning from each other.
Thank you. And Catherine, you're on Instagram, aren't you? As well as that people can reach you via your website.
Yeah, that's right.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Thank you.